Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the inside of your town hall. The town hall has a giant meeting hall, a waiting area, a secretary's office, and finally the mayor's office. Now, just in case you weren't aware, this is part 2. There is a part 1. That is a separate video in which I show you how to make the entire outside of your town hall, as you can see it right behind me. In part 2, which is this part, I will show you how to decorate the entire inside. If you haven't made part 1, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section. The thumbnail looks exactly like how I'm showing you on the screen right now, and once you've made the entire outside of your town hall, we can focus on the inside as we're going to. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let's get started. Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, head inside of your town hall. You will notice that we have this huge, big, empty, open town hall. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. Plus, later on we will be grabbing more, but I'll show you what we need before we start using them. So, quite annoyingly, my friends, we have to fix two things that we really should have done in part 1. We don't have to fix them, we just have to do them. There's nothing that needs changing, it's just something that really we should have done in part 1. It's my bad. I take full responsibility. So here is what we have to do. The first thing is we have to fill above the entrance area here in using terracotta. So we're just going to completely fill the area above the entrance in using terracotta because it's quite clearly visible from the outside. I didn't notice this. You could actually see right into the inside of your town hall from the outside. My bad. What you could also do is you could add a layer of quartz slabs like this to the inside underneath overhanging part of your town hall, and it would look a little bit cleaner that way. Otherwise you've kind of got all of the exposed roof and it just looks a little bit scruffy really. So you see, there we go, problem solved. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Another thing that I really do wish that I would have done, but it has to be done, ladies and gentlemen, we have to add a ceiling inside of our town hall. Now, this is going to be made out of chiseled quartz block. It's going to slot in directly above the windows, just like this. So right where the second story windows are, we're going to fill the entire ceiling in like this. So it's going to spread from the front to the back. There we are. That is much better. Later on, we will add some lighting to the ceiling so we can actually see what we're doing, but we will do that very, very shortly. So make sure that you fill the entire ceiling in with chiseled quartz block, and then we can move on to the next thing. So the next thing that we have to do when it comes to our town hall is we have to divide it. As you saw at the start of the video, we have a big giant meeting hall and then we have the little offices to the left of us. Now the way that we divide this up is we come all the way to this back window. There's only one window on the back of the build. And left of the window we place a pillar quartz block like this, facing upwards. You place 4 quartz slab extending from the block, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending forwards that is. Place a pillar quartz on the end. 3 more slabs, 1, 2, 3, pillar quartz, 3 more slabs, 1, 2, 3, and then pillar quartz, 3 more slabs, 1, 2, 3, and then pillar quartz like this. You extend that pillar quartz block all the way over to the left using terracotta. In addition to that, you also place terracotta all the way around the inside of all of these slabs and all of the pillar quartz and stuff like this, right? And the entire point of this is that we can now extend up all of the terracotta like this. I don't know how is best to do it, probably in 2 long rows like this, just extending upwards. And the point of this is that we can place all of this terracotta here, and this will be the separation. So that's just an easy way to figure out the separation between the 2 rooms. And we are going to add some lighting in here very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. I realize how dark it is. I know that it's very, very dark in here, but if you want, you can light the place up with some torches and stuff. So like this. There we are. So that doesn't look too bad, right? We want to extend all of the pillar quartz blocks upwards. That's very, very important, so we're going to extend all of them up. Basically, we're trying to make it look a little bit on the inside as it does the outside. So we're just trying to add some architecture and stuff to the actual build, just so that it kind of like looks a little bit more important, you know? So a little bit like that. We want to be able to place 2 rows of stuff above the quartz slabs. And what we then want to be able to do is place a layer of quartz slabs through all of the actual pillar quartz blocks. So kind of like this, right? Perfect. So now that we've kind of like figured that out, we want to add some lights into the wall here. So it's actually a little bit tricky to do from the outside, to be honest. So, but there's no actual other way to do it. Okay, so basically, the lights want to kind of like be in the centers of all of these upper parts. This is just to provide a little bit of extra light. That's all this is about. And it would be easier to do it from the inside, honestly. So, like this. And then let's take, I've made a huge mess, but I have to show you guys how it's done. So like from the outside, it'll look like this. You've just got like a load of sea lanterns. You could easily use something other than sea lanterns, but we're going to use some trapdoors, just to kind of like dampen things a bit. There has to be some lights in here. Now that we've done that on that side, we also want to add a little bit more decoration and stuff around the actual town hall. So, for instance, like where we have this window here, we also want to have another row of pillar quartz block on the opposite side of the window, extending all the way from the ground upwards. You can even place a little bit of quartz slab above and below the window, kind of like this. So you can even place stuff on the window and in the window if you like. Now, this pillar quartz block here that is on the ground next to the window is actually quite a good measuring stick, because we want to extend from it, from the pillar quartz block, we want to extend 4 slabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stick a pillar quartz block on the end. You then want to place 2 stairs, 1, 2, and then a pillar quartz block, and then you can quite comfortably just place a load of quartz slabs extending all the way over to the right. Now, just before it hits the right side of the build, I'm going to recommend that you place yourself a pillar quartz block, like that, on the ground, and you extend that pillar quartz block all the way up to the ceiling. There's also going to be a row of pillar quartz here in the back corner. This is where the stage area is. And there is also going to be pillar quartz blocks in between all of the windows, extending all the way to the right. So like in between all of these windows, pillar quartz blocks, so here, and then it's going to be here, and then we're going to have it extend here as well. We're not going to have one on the front though, because it'd actually obstruct the windows a little bit. So again, kind of just trying to add a little bit of framework, a little bit of something to the build. We're also going to have quartz slabs extend out from all of the windows that aren't on the stage, and we might even have quartz slabs just above the windows like this. You don't really have to do it for the above windows, although it might look good, it might not look good, I don't quite know. It depends how far you want to go with it, so you might want to have it like here and here, for instance, if you like. The stage area is to be filled in using red concrete. That's all that's going to be. So like here all the way up to this wall. That's why by the way, you might have noticed, I think I pointed it out in part 1, we don't have many windows or anything on the back of the build. And this is why, because we've got a big giant wall that we're actually going to add a fake screen to. You guys know, you guys have been to school. Most of you are still at school or in some form of it. We've got like a big giant sort of like projector there's going to be just a big screen right behind us. So we'll actually place that a little bit later. But as you can see, we've actually made quite a bit of headway now in kind of like sorting out where things are going to go. And speaking of sorting out where things are going to go, we have to figure out the seating situation. And it's quite easy. So we have 3 rows of seats, one where this pillar is, one where this pillar is, and one where this pillar is. The first seat is 1 row away from the first pillar, and then they are 2 rows away from each other. So 1, 2, seat, 1, 2, seat, 1, 2, seat. And there is only that many seats. Now we can add another one actually. So gap of 2, seat, and then that actually takes you, it should line up with that stair. And that is where all of the seats go. So extend them from the pillars. I think there's 5 seats in total. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yep, there's 5 seats in total. There's 3 rows of seats. Feel free to condense them. Feel free to make them out of a different material. Feel free to do whatever you like. But there we go. That's kind of like the seating situation. So, what are we going to be doing next? Well, we're going to decorate the seats themselves, and we're also going to kind of mark things out on the floor. So, first, just grab yourself lectern, oak sign, spruce trapdoor, green carpet, and we will be needing the pillar quartz block, and that'll make sense in a sec. So, where this middle seat is here in our row of 5 seats, on the stage, looking outwards, we want to have a lectern like this. So, kind of like right in the middle of the seating situation. And then on the wall behind and above it, we want to use pillar quartz block. So line up the pillar quartz block with the lectern. Make sure it's 1 row or so off of the ground. And then extend it to the right 1, 2, 3, and extend it to the left 1, 2, 3. So you could even make that a little bit bigger if you wanted to. And this is basically just going to be kind of like I said, place them sideways. It just looks like a screen, like an interactive whiteboard, or it looks like something that could be projected onto, or something like that. You could even place like a load of pictures and item frames and stuff if you kind of wanted to decorate a little bit. But the area is a little bit empty. Like if you wanted to actually make it look as though that like some sort of meeting was going on, then you could put like a book and quill on the lectern, and you could have some pictures and stuff. I mean, we might even try that a little bit later on once we've kind of like finished what we're doing here. Anyway, all of the seats I'm going to add spruce trapdoors to the backs to make them look a little bit fancier. The spruce trapdoors, it's kind of hard to do it in any other way. You've really got to go out of the way to do it, but you want to try and make them face upwards. I don't think you can even make them face sideways to fit the seats. We're going to place oak signs on the sides of them. You can use spruce if you like, but I just thought it'd be nice to have a contrast. Equally so, if you wanted to have a 3 wood chair, then I guess it'd be a 2 wood chair still, then you could have birch instead. I guess you could make like the chairs out of say like dark oak and then put like the spruce backing, and then you could put like birch signs, and then you've kind of got like a funky like 3 level of chair. But I mean, it's completely up to you. Spruce signs probably looks better, but sometimes I try to just use loads of different materials really. But there's any number of ways that you could do this. You could use birch, and you could use like the birch backing, or you could just place signs all the way around, or you could just leave the stairs. It really does depend on how much effort you do want to put into it. It's such a small thing though. But there we go. It does make the chairs look better, however. And the reason that we have carpet is so that we can place carpet in between all of the chairs. Now, placing the carpet sort of just... what does it do? It kind of shows you where... It's kind of like a tool that you can use to show you where to go. So we're just placing some green carpet just in front of all of the chairs. And I think that we're going to have a row of 2 green carpet, kind of like a big giant rug, kind of like just on the side of the chairs as well. You could use different colours as well too. You don't have to just stick to one colour of carpet. And we might even have like how many rows would it be? Probably about 3 rows of just rug directly behind. I connected it all together originally, but I actually sort of like that a little bit better. There we go. We could even have like a little one here. I don't think I want it to connect all together. I like the idea of having different ones. And you could even patchwork it in that you could add some like white to it or something like that. But, you know, it's quite a nice, fancy sort of looking area now. It's not looking too bad. And we do have to decorate it. We have to decorate it in a few different ways. So here's the sorts of things that we're going to grab. We're going to grab like banners, flower pots, sea lanterns. We need dead bushes, oak saplings, we need oak leaves, we need white glazed terracotta, and honestly, any sort of glazed terracotta will do. And we're also going to need a little bit of end rods, and we'll need red concrete. We need quite a few different things. Oh, you know what? Let's scrap those last 2. Let's just grab paintings. My bad, because we okay, let me explain. So we're going to first of all place red banners on the sides of all of the windows where the pillar quartz block is. That kind of like gives the illusion that we can like draw some curtains and kind of like make this a little bit more private. I also sort of like the idea. Would it be, scratch the record a second, would it actually be a good idea to add like pillars in between these windows, kind of like on the front of the build too, kind of like just in between here? And would it also be a good idea to perhaps add some quartz slabs in between them as well, just to kind of like give the same sort of effect? These questions rather, are rhetorical. It's kind of up to you, but it might just make it look as though it's a little bit more ornate. So kind of like just a couple of curtains that we can sort of draw here. We also want to add a frame kind of like around the entrance. So the entrance, we do actually want to say like add a little bit of like pillar quartz block around. So left and right of the door here, just to kind of like add a bit of a frame. I kind of forgot about this. We do want to add like a little bit of frame like this. And we could maybe place, say, some quartz slabs just like above the door, above and outside of the door, kind of like this. And maybe we can turn this into like a solid quartz like that. And then we're actually going to add some plant life to there. I might add some plant life around the place as well in a few different ways. So yeah, we've made a little bit of headway there. I think that we've made the area look a tad little bit fancier by doing that. And actually, I'm going to change the plan a second. I am going to grab the grass blocks, spruce trapdoors. We don't have any flowers on us, but I'm using some azure bluettes for this, and I like the idea of having some like flowers directly above the entrance here, and placing some bluettes, and maybe underneath here, maybe we use terracotta instead, and that provides kind of like a nice little contrast. And maybe this could even extend across. Maybe we could have flowers kind of like across the entire top. I think that it'd make the area look a little bit more homely. So when I say homely, it'll make it look a little bit more like approachable, kind of like this. Maybe just having some flowerbeds kind of like in the ceiling a little bit, I think would make it look a little bit nice. If we could do that over here, it'd actually be quite good too. It'd be quite a nice feature. So could we actually do that? Could we say like add these here like this, and then add some flowers? This is just kind of like a different design sort of idea, if you like. And then we can kind of just have them like hanging here, suspended like this. I don't think that we have to place anything underneath them. I think that they can kind of just like sit like that. And I like the idea of having like a little bit of nature involved. I think that looks good. We could even have it like throughout the entire, like we could have it on the sides, and it'd actually be a little bit more interesting to look at. So we could have it like extend it across here in some sort of way. But I guess I'll kind of like leave that up to you. Like you could have flowers there, or you could have flowers there, or you could just kind of like go for the massive framework sort of deal that we've kind of got. Although a benefit to having the flowers like directly here is that it hides the backing of the windows a little bit. It also makes the windows nicer to look into. So again, these are all like personal little decisions that you might want to make. I like the idea of there being a little bit of plant life in here to make it a little bit less, I don't know what to call it, like it feels less artificial if there's just some plants in there. And it makes sense that it'd want to be a little bit nicer too. So I quite like that. That's not too bad. When it comes to all of the other materials that we were using like flower pots and sea lanterns, and I think that we might need the banners again, I can't remember, and like just some like dead bushes and some saplings and maybe even some leaves and some terracotta. And the point of all of this so that we could kind of like add stuff to the windowsills to make it a bit brighter. So a couple of lanterns just in the windowsills like this would actually go quite a long way, and we can place like flower pots in some of the windows too. And I guess that now we can kind of do this on the front as well, so like a lantern and kind of like just flower pots and stuff. So just a little bit like this. It doesn't make sense to add banners onto these pillars, although you can if you like. I did it myself, but it didn't really make any sense, to be honest. Like, it makes sense to place them here next to this window so that you can like draw the curtains. It even makes sense to do it up here so that those curtains could be drawn, and just in case there was like something special or something private, like it makes sense there. Even like down here too, if you really wanted to add them, although I think that that's probably a bit much, but you could add them in those places if you wanted to. When it comes to these areas, I sort of like the idea of having like a couple of lanterns about the place because it is rather dark, to be honest. And then what you could do is you could add some paintings. So like I imagine at town halls and stuff, I've never actually been. I don't think I've been to a town hall ever. I like the idea of there being, how should I say? I like the idea of there just being like posters for like events and, you know, stuff like that. So I like the idea of there being some just like posters kind of like chucked around, and maybe even just some plants and stuff if you like. But it's mainly just to keep things like a little bit more nice and bright and stuff like that. The reason that we have the terracotta, the white glazed terracotta, is so that we can make some bushes just like near the entrance here. So we actually need the flower pots on top of the glazed terracotta. You then put a dead bush inside of them, and then you can put like little bushes, little leaves on top now. And you can vary all of those, by the way, as well. You can vary all of the terracottas. We can hang a couple of lanterns here off the entrance, and that actually does a great job in keeping things a little bit brighter. We're just missing some central light here, but we'll actually do that in a sec. And in doing all of that, I actually think, you know what? I wonder if it'd actually look all right to kind of hang some lanterns like above where the projector would be. So kind of like this. You'd want to do it evenly. In case you guys haven't noticed, the stage isn't quite even. Like, there's a little bit more space that way. But, yeah, you could even hang some lanterns, like, up there to make it look a little bit fancier. You could hang it from the pillars. Like, there's all sorts of things you can do. But I'm actually quite sort of happy. It feels quite nice and warm in here. When it comes to this corner over here, this is kind of just like, I imagine it to be sort of like a little waiting area, and to make that waiting area, just a little bit of red concrete, a little bit of quartz stairs, some scaffolding, white carpet, end rods, and some white glazed terracotta, or any terracotta. Maybe even, you could even make a window, so you could use some glass pane, and you could even use a little bit of a painting as well if you want. But anyway, in the corner here, I like the idea of having like a big waiting sofa, so like red concrete, and then extend 1, 2, 3 this way, and then 1, 2, 3 this way, or maybe even 4 to cover up the window. And then you can extend the corners in, place some quartz stairs all the way around, sort of like this. Couple of scaffolding sort of in the corner with some white carpet on, and then you can place like in the corner here, or like a couple of end rods, and then like a terracotta on top, and then it's just kind of like a nice little waiting area. I quite like that. You've got room for a window though. You could easily add a window here, and that could be, I mean, you guys know how to make windows. It's upside down quartz stairs and a couple of rows of glass pane. And hang on, we'll take a look from the outside. And that looks all right, you know. Have a little window. I think, can you add a window up above here? Yeah, you can even add a window up above here. It doesn't get in the way of anything, so you could have a little bit more light. Again, as much natural light as you can kind of want to have. Another good candidate is actually over here too. I think that you can add it quite easily up here. And that might even brighten things up a little bit. And it looks fine from the outside. It's actually no problem. And all we're missing now is a bit of light in the middle of the hall. We're actually going to take care of that. So we've done quite a good job here in keeping this place relatively light and bright, in kind of like in non-artificial means, like so what we could do is we could place like where all of these chairs are. This would work where all of the chairs are, and it's going to be tricky to kind of like mark it out just from eye. So here we go. Where all the chairs are, we could place like sea lanterns in the ceiling, or you could use like redstone lamps. That'd probably be a little bit warmer. But there you go. If you place them above where all the chairs are, and then the chairs all have a gap of 1, 2, 3. They have a gap of 3 between each other, so they'd be here and here and here as well. Oh, that's where the stage is, but that's not a bad idea to light up either. And that'll actually keep the middle of the room nice and bright. And I don't think that we'll have to add any extras onto it either. So here, here, and here. Oh, one more row too. So here, and then the room is actually, I think, sufficiently lit up. I'm quite happy with that. I don't think that looks too bad whatsoever. Actually, I think that looks all right. I like it. So now once that has all been done, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that this is quite a nice town. I think if you walk in here, it's actually it feels rather impressive walking in here. The next thing that we have to do is we have to work out the little office area. So there's of course a little office and it has a door and all of that. So the door is right here, right next to the wall. There's also a little window. I think it's a 3-block wide window. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a 3-block wide window here. So from the outside, it's actually a little bit easier to see it. You can see it's kind of like set directly inwards. We have to add a ceiling. The ceiling is going to be, we want to have the ceiling directly above where we have these windows. So it's going to be made out of chiseled quartz, just like pretty much, well, the other ceiling is. You can have a higher ceiling if you want, but it kind of like we've got those sea lanterns there, so we probably sort of want to cover up that giant row of sea lanterns that we have, and I think that that's quite sufficient. Where it works out to be, how do I best show you guys where? I think it's right, like where we have this window here, like the window closer to here, we leave a gap of 1, and then we want to kind of like separate the rooms using some terracotta. Except the doorway is right here on the left, like it's right against this wall, and I think that there is also a little window as well, so we leave a gap of 1, and then we've just got like a little double window here, and then it's just some glass pane, just like this. That's perfect. So what can we do in this little office with all of the materials that we have? Honestly, we do need quite a few more things, but we can get by with we can use the quartz stairs, we can use the scaffolding, we can use carpets, we can use the flower pots and the flowers as well, and that's mostly it. We can use like a little bit of green carpet too. So before we, grab a whole new set of materials, there's just like a little bit of a little seating area here underneath the window. Underneath the left and right of the window, we have quartz stairs, and in between the stairs and to the right, we just have like a couple of tables. You can put a carpet on one and like a flower pot or so in the other, or a light. Just in front of the seating area, leaving a gap of 1 horizontally, we want to place like a little bit of carpet so that it's just like a nice little bit of a rug. On the other end of this is actually going to be and by the way, just grab spruce slabs. Or any slabs. I mean, it could be quartz, but I have a feeling spruce wood slabs would look better. And basically, we just want to have a spruce wood slab desk, leave a gap of 1 from the left side here, place like a solid spruce wood plank, extend the spruce wood plank to the right by 2 using slabs, and then stick a spruce wood plank on the end. And then extend that spruce wood plank backwards so that it hits this wall, so that we've kind of created a corner table. And behind the spruce wood slabs, just here, we're going to stick a chair, and that is where the secretary is going to sit. And we're going to stick a flower pot on this table just right there. And honestly, I really should have included these spruce wood slabs in the item list, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Here are all of the materials that we are going to use to finish off the build. There might be some repeat materials that we've used already, but I don't just want to whip materials out of thin air and surprise you with them and then you realise that you've not got them. So that's everything that we're going to be using. There might be some repeaters. Make sure that you got all those and then we can continue on. Let's do this. So the first thing that I want to do is I just want to place something a little bit different here inside of this flower pot. So I'm just going to use a fern. It really doesn't matter what you place though. I'm going to place a weighted pressure plate here in front of this chair, and I want to place a trap door that flips up, specifically a birch by the way, I think it looks best, and then you can stick a painting on there, and that looks like a computer screen. And you can use any painting, but I don't like the first one that popped up. I'm going to place a couple of filing cabinets. This is simple. This is made out of just 2 grey shulker boxes on top of each other. You can use light grey as well. If you stick item frames in front of them, and then if you stick just some like, you can use a multitude of things to make it look kind of like handles. You can use any sort of thin block, so you could use, say, like weighted pressure plates. Stone might look a little bit better. You can put signs on them using signs and stuff, but it's up to you ultimately. And it's just like a nice little room now. You can add some lighting in the room. How wide is the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's an even number, so that's a bit difficult. So I'm just going to add, say, like in the 4 corners of the ceiling, I'm just going to add some sea lanterns. But you don't even need lighting. You could even create a window here. It could be a relatively large window. 1, 2, 3. It could be like a 3-block wide window, kind of like this, and it could just be made out of like some stained glass. You don't even need, you wouldn't even need the stairs if you don't want to. That's completely optional. And, oh, there we go. And this is this room complete. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be too fancy at all. It's just a little secretary room. As we come into this room over here, we're going to have more filing cabinets. So again, just like grey shulker boxes on top of each other. Item frames, pressure plates, you know, just look like handles. What else are we going to have in here as well? Well, in this room, we're going to actually have like a huge bookcase, kind of like at the back. I figured the mirror would have access to loads of records and stuff, so just a load of bookshelves, kind of like on the back. If you want to make bookshelves look fancier, make it look as though people have actually taken books out of said bookshelf, you can use looms. This is optional, and you can place them sideways like this. You can't place them front ways, it looks weird, and then that way it looks as though books have been pulled out. We need to make a desk that's made out of spruce wood stairs. We need some spruce wood slabs. We need to make chairs. That's spruce wood trapdoors, and we need some signs too. The desk basically is going to sit, I do believe, I don't want to get this wrong, it's going to sit 1 row away from the bookcase, and it's going to be, it's basically where we have this upside down, or where we have the quartz stair here, leave a gap of 1 and place an upside down spruce stair. Place 1 spruce wood slab and then stick another spruce wood stair on the end, and upside down of course, and then extend the desk forwards by 1 entire row. So all the stair, all of the slabs like this. And then we're going to place a stair on the in front of the middle and behind the middle blocks like this, and we're going to place the oak signs on the side. These are basically the same chairs that we have on the inside the town hall, the big meeting hall, and then you can stick the trapdoors up too. If you want to decorate the desk, we can have a computer, so weighted pressure plate, birch trapdoor, painting. We can have an open book. I think that this looks like an open book using oak pressure plates and white carpet. I like the idea of a flower pot. It can mean a couple of different things, from like a pen holder to other stuff, or just a cup. We're going to have a big lamp, so end rod and glazed terracotta, and we'll also need these spruce trapdoors again. So first of all, computer. Let's have one in the corner of the desk here. So weighted pressure plate, trapdoor flipped upwards, any painting. That one's beautiful. I actually like that painting a lot. An open book. I think that an oak pressure plate with a white carpet sort of looks like an open book. It can actually be any colour, but I kind of think it looks sort of like an open book. Flower pot on the corner, perfect desk. Just right of the desk, maybe the back corner here, a couple of M-rods on top of each other, and maybe like a green glazed terracotta, something a bit more distinguished. I like the idea of having a couple of shelves, so maybe just like a couple of spruce trapdoors, kind of like this. That looks all right, and then you could have like a lantern hanging off one, and maybe like a chest off the other, kind of like this. You could even have like a painting if you wanted to, like here. That's completely up to you. I like the idea of having a little bit of a carpet too, so just like a little bit of a rug, maybe probably about this big, keep it away from everything, and that's just a nice little office. We can place a painting here if we wanted to. I'm thinking a one by one. No. That one's okay. Kind of just fits quite nicely. And there doesn't even need to be any light in here, honestly, so I'm not going to add any, because we've got, even in the night, we've got the lantern and we've got the end rods, so it actually keeps this quite nice and bright. And believe it or not, the only thing that we kind of have to do, I don't have the material on me, but I'm sure that it will be in the item list. Doors, oak doors, boom, boom, easy. I'm thinking, should a painting go here? Maybe a 2x1 or a 1x2 or however you're supposed to say it. Maybe like, that's a nice one. I like that one. Perfect. I like that. And yeah, there we go. I mean, you can change up, like, you can vary the colors of carpets and stuff, you know, take whatever color you like. Maybe a little bit of red to keep consistent with the theme. I'm actually liking the green in there. I think that all looks fantastic, really. Can we add a little bit of carpet here as well? No, that'd look a bit... Would this look a bit goofy? I don't know. Looks kind of okay, to be honest. I think that that's all right. We could even place some flowers if we wanted to over there, but I think majoritively, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we're kind of done. I think that you're just left with the little small details that you may or may want to add for yourself, but otherwise... Oh, actually, you know, between these terracottas, maybe if we add that, it kind of looks like seats, kind of looks like something else. I don't know. Kind of, it doesn't look too bad. I kind of sort of like that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we're kind of done here. So now, when we enter our town hall, we have a nice look from the outside. We can see all of the flowers, but more importantly, when we get to the inside, it's nice and well lit. We've got a speaking stage, we can have presentations, we can have meetings, we've got all sorts of seats, we've got a lot of light, we have flowers, we have paintings, those are supposed to be posters, we have our waiting room, we have the secretary's office as well. I like these two little offices, by the way. I like this little office with like the filing cabinets and the computers and stuff, and I really like the mayor's office as well. Like, I find it very, very cozy in here. I really like it. I think that it's a really nice room. And that's it, my friends. I do hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. I had a blast making it, I had a blast designing it, and I had loads of fun making the tutorial itself. If you guys have enjoyed it, please do remember to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell if you haven't already. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And if you want to make anything else by me, I have so many city builds I could keep you busy for hours, honestly. Check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking, all of that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!